Welcome, Raider Nation. What a tough pill to swallow on Sunday night as the Las Vegas Raiders faced off against the Washington Commanders, only to see their hopes slip away in a 41-24 defeat at Northwest Stadium. But beyond the scoreboard and the glaring numbers, there was a story unfolding that captured the raw emotion and fierce competitive spirit of one of the Raiders' most passionate warriors, defensive end Maxx Crosby. If you caught the broadcast, you saw him, head shaking, clearly frustrated, voices whispering what every fan hoped wasn't true. He was wide open. That moment, right after a crucial 43-yard touchdown connection from Marcus Mariota to Luke McCaffrey late in the fourth quarter, perfectly summed up the struggles plaguing the Raiders early this season. Now, let's dive into the heart of what happened, and what it means for Las Vegas moving forward. The tough reality: Raiders Week 3 showdown. The Commanders came out strong and fast, seemingly eager to exploit every gap in the Raiders' defense. Washington's backup quarterback, Marcus Mariota, filling in admirably for the injured Jayden Daniels, threw for 207 yards and a touchdown, while adding 40 yards rushing with a score of his own. Those stats may seem modest, but it was the big explosive plays that truly rattled Vegas. We're talking about some game breakers. Deebo Samuel's 69-yard kickoff returned to ignite Washington's momentum, Jeremy McNichols' 60-yard touchdown run before halftime, and Jalen Lane's 90-yard punt return touchdown in the third quarter, plays reminiscent of the electrifying returns from legends like Desmond Howard. These momentum-shaking plays weren't just unlucky breaks. They were evidence of the Raiders' struggles in all three phases: offense, defense, and special teams. And amidst all this chaos, Maxx Crosby's visible frustration says it all. For someone who's built a reputation on relentless effort and biting power in the trenches, watching these missed coverages and busted assignments sting was more than a tough loss. It was a personal challenge. Spotlight on Maxx Crosby, the heart of Raider defense. Maxx Crosby isn't just another player on this Raiders team. He's the embodiment of Raider Nation's grit. Drafted in 2019, Crosby quickly became known for his ferocious pass-rushing skills, relentless motor, and passionate play that fires up the entire Allegiant Stadium crowd. His style echoes Raiders legends like Howie Long and, more recently, Khalil Mack, players who not only disrupt offenses but embody the Raider identity. Fierce, unyielding, and always hustling. When Crosby was caught on camera shaking his head after the McCaffrey touchdown, fans weren't just seeing disappointment, they were witnessing a leader holding himself and his teammates accountable. It's clear Crosby expects more from the defensive unit, especially in tight moments when a single lapse can change the game. Analyzing the Raiders' struggles, offensive line and defensive breakdowns. The Raiders did get some bright spots on offense. Quarterback Geno Smith had a decent day, throwing for 289 yards and 3 touchdowns. But those numbers mask a bigger story: a struggling offensive line that allowed Washington's pass rush to sack Smith 5 times. Pass protection, especially against teams with a fierce pass rush like Washington, is critical to maintaining offensive rhythm, and right now, that has been inconsistent. And let's not forget wide receiver Trey Tucker. That guy was a revelation, hauling in 8 passes for 145 yards and scoring all 3 Raiders touchdowns, including a breathtaking 61-yard bomb that reminded fans of the Raiders' deep threat tradition, similar to icons like Tim Brown or Cliff Branch. But the defense, it's the defensive side that let the Raiders down most brutally. Busted coverages, missed tackles, and a failure to force turnovers or limit explosive plays have opened gaping holes. The play that delivered the knockout punch, McCaffrey's wide-open 43-yard TD, was emblematic of a breakdown in communication and discipline. This isn't the Raiders' defense we've come to expect, especially when you consider the pride and ferocity displayed by players like Crosby. Raiders in context, a legacy of grit and glory. To understand the sting of this loss, you have to appreciate the Raiders' storied history. Originating in Oakland in 1960, the Raiders have always been a team defined by their rebellious spirit, hard-hitting defense, and dramatic comebacks. They've hoisted 3 Super Bowl trophies and fielded legendary players, from the bruising force of Marcus Allen in the 80s to the charismatic leadership of Ken Stabler and the defensive dominance of Howie Long. The 2020 relocation to Las Vegas was a new chapter, bringing fresh energy and a state-of-the-art home at Allegiant Stadium, a dazzling arena where the Raider Nation's passion echoes louder than ever. But with new beginnings come expectations, and the rivalry within the AFC West has intensified. Facing off weekly against the explosive Kansas City Chiefs and the speedy Los Angeles Chargers puts the Raiders under more pressure than ever to perform. Though the Raiders are just 1-2 this season, the history reminds us, it's a long journey, and there's resilience coursing through this franchise's veins. Fictional perspectives, voices from the locker room and fans. After the game, an imagined quote from Maxx Crosby sums it up: "We knew this wasn't going to be easy. Every team we face wants to silence the Raider roar. We let some things slip today. But trust me, we'll come harder next week." That's how Raiders do it. On the other side, head coach Dennis Allen might have said, "We saw some flashes of what we're capable of on offense, but defensively, we have to tighten up our assignments and communicate better. It's a process. We're already watching film and preparing harder for the next one." And the fans? Across Vegas and beyond, Raider Nation is as passionate as ever. One fan shared, "Look, we bleed silver and black. It hurts to lose like that. But I have faith. This team has heart, and Allegiant Stadium is our fortress." Looking ahead, what's next for the Raiders? Now, what does this mean as the season unfolds? The Raiders need to address their defensive lapses with urgency before those early losses shape their playoff aspirations. With tough divisional games ahead, especially against the Chiefs and Chargers, teams that have dominated the West recently, every practice and adjustment counts. Maxx Crosby's leadership will be paramount in rallying the defense, and Geno Smith's ability to stay composed under pressure, shielded by a better-performing offensive line, will determine how potent their offense can be. Draft implications. If this trend continues, the Raiders might find themselves in the market for more defensive playmakers or bolstering the offensive line in upcoming drafts. But don't count them out. This team has rebounded from worse. Raiders trivia and pop culture connections. Did you know the Raiders were once so iconic culturally that their silver and black colors appeared in movies and music throughout decades? From The Sopranos to hip-hop verses by Ice Cube and NWA, Raider Nation transcends football and lives as a symbol of rebellion and pride. Also, Allegiant Stadium isn't just a shiny new home. It's hosted high-profile events like the NFL Draft and major concerts, cementing its status as Las Vegas's premier destination for excitement. Closing thoughts. Stay loud, Raider Nation. So, what's the takeaway? The loss stings, the mistakes frustrate, but the fire inside the Raiders, and inside Maxx Crosby, is burning hotter than ever. The season is just beginning, and there's plenty of football left to play. We'll be watching with keen eyes as this team works to sharpen its edges, channel that frustration into discipline, and rise up to deliver the wins Raider Nation craves. As always, stay loud, Raider Nation. Follow every snap, every sack, every touchdown here and keep the spirit alive. Next Sunday, we'll be right back with all the action, analysis, and passion you expect. Because with the Raiders, it's never just a game, it's a legacy.